What's up, you guys? I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre. Welcome back to the channel and this Marvel Avengers video. And today we're going to be talking about some drastic changes that were made to the Avengers loot pool, the gear drop rates on certain missions. Some of these were buffed, however, some of these were also nerfed. It's very important that you guys know which missions are actually going to give you guys worthwhile gear so you know where to invest your time in Marvel Avengers after this Shield Substation Zero and Tachyon Rift update. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out my video exploring Tachyon Rifts. That's definitely one of my first recommendations, is if you want to get your hands on some of that awesome cosmic gear, the only place you can get it is in the Tachyon Rifts. You can play these as many times as you want, but the first time you play them every day, you get a higher chance of getting the specialty Storm gear set. But the missions that we are talking about specifically are starting off with the Mega Hive. Besides the Tachyon mission chain that we got yesterday, we also got directly noted in the patch notes was a buff to the Mega Hive, the Gauntlet of Heroes weekly hive, where it now guarantees exotic gear upon completion. Not just one, but 2 pieces of exotic gear. And after grinding through this heroic gauntlet, I can confirm that you do indeed get 2 pieces of exotic gear, alongside a nice juicy stack of polycoron and upgrade modules to upgrade your different pieces of gear with. Now, what is questionable though is how valuable those exotic pieces of gear are actually worth. Maybe I just got a really bad stat roll, but I actually got an exotic piece of gear that was the exact same type of legendary gear that I already had on, and it actually came out with worse stats after being fully upgraded. Even though it came with an extra perk, that perk doesn't really make the loss of stats worth it. I'd be losing 10 proficiency and 12 might in order to put on this exotic piece of gear, which is supposed to be the top tier best piece of equipment in the game. Honestly, quite disappointed with this. And then I gotta say, I'm also disappointed to have discovered that they have nerfed other loot farming sites that used to give you consistent pieces of legendary gear. Elite villain sectors continue to be a completely worthless endeavor. Despite being more difficult than the daily villain sectors you can get as faction missions, the elite villain sectors give you nothing more than some generic purple gear, which is an insult compared to the at least named specialty gear you get from the daily villain sectors from your faction vendors. And then I am very sad to report that the elite hives, which used to consistently give you named legendary gear and you could sit there and grind out an entire set if you wanted to, now appear to no longer give that. Appear to give generic purple gear just the same as the elite villain sectors. And this is exceptionally infuriating because I made a whole video about how to grind out gear from these specific missions. And now that's been totally nerfed, and I'm not exactly sure where you can even get your hands on those special pieces of gear. Now, one thing that I have been having trouble with that appeared to be fixed this time around was the heroic hive, the 14 floor hive. And every time I've completed it up until now, I haven't gotten a single item. But this time, I appeared to get a piece of defensive gear sent to my inventory locker, and that one had the untouchable Jarvis chestplate, which the Jarvis barrier is a really unique and powerful perk, so I think that's what I got from the heroic hive. But still, kind of a letdown. For 14 floors worth of hive, I got 1 piece of legendary gear. Like, they really have nerfed the loot farming in this particular patch, it seems, on everything except for the vault missions. The vault missions do appear to have maintained their consistent legendary loot drop rate. And not only that, they've actually even removed one of these special types of missions that we used to be able to harvest and farm some gear from. The weekly priority missions aren't on the war table this week because they wanted to put some focus on the Tachyon Rifts, which I totally understand, but it's still kind of a letdown to come into these previously awesome gear farms and get nothing. Well, if you guys learned something from watching this video, drop a like on it, and if you want to stay up to date on Marvel Avengers, consider subscribing to the channel. In the meantime, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm